Welcome to all our super supporters and all new viewers to our channel. We hope you're all well. In this preview, we get into a massive relegation battle between West Ham United and Watford. We get into league positions, form, stats, injury news, predicted lineup, key elements, and round it all off with a score prediction. Everything you need for this London survival scrap. And we are back with another Premier League preview show. What I usually say at the beginnings is, as always, I'm joined by Gary. But if you look, that is quite evidently not Gary. I'm joined again by Jack. How are you, Jack?
A bit better than last time. A bit more confidence about us now.
You was miserable last time. I forgot that.
I was miserable.
You was in a state of pure misery.
I was.
But you join us this time for a crunch match, a game that is being dubbed the £120 million game, which is ridiculous if you think about it. But it's fair point. There's a lot of money at stake here.
Yeah, the winner's staying up in this one.
And that game is West Ham versus Watford. It's happening at Friday at 8 p.m. at the London Stadium. Not Upton Park, Jack, unfortunately for you. So let's dive into league positions. Usually we do one team at a time when we do league positions, but in this point, there is literally no point in doing that. And why is that, Jack?
We're both deadlocked on 34 points, 3 games to go. We're both sitting 3 points clear of Bournemouth at the minute and 4 clear of Villa. And there's only 6 goals separating the two of us, so it's a pretty big game, this.
There's not a lot between you at all, so this really is... we know you're playing Aston Villa in the last game of the season. Out of interest, which game's more important, do you think, for West Ham? Is it this game or the Villa game?
I'd say this one. I think if you ask every West Ham fan, we want to get it wrapped up before that final game because West Ham will bottle that. I'm pretty confident in saying that. If we can beat Watford on Friday, I think that will probably be enough for us. So for me, this is the one, and I think it is for Watford as well.
That makes sense. Nip it in the bud as soon as possible. That takes us nicely to the form where, again, West Ham and Watford are inseparable. This is getting borderline ridiculous now. Watford currently have 2 wins, 1 draw and 3 losses. They played 6 games since the return to football, and West Ham, I do believe, are completely identical.
Yeah, exactly the same.
And that brings us quite nicely to the stats. Now, it's quite interesting looking at these stats. What's the thing that jumps out to you there, Jack?
For me, it's just how similar the two teams are. We're slightly better in attack and they're better in defence. But other than that, a lot of them stats are pretty similar. And that's probably why we find ourselves in similar positions in the form and table.
Yeah, I mean, on the face of it, it looks like from this it's going to be a very entertaining game. But I really don't think it's going to shape up like that. I think both teams are going to be...
No, this is a relegation scrap.
Yeah, it's going to be decided by either a moment of magic or a moment of fortune. We don't know yet, but it's probably going to be a bit nervy to begin with. And I don't think, unless someone gets an early goal, we're not going to see a 3-2 or a 3-3.
No, not for me. I think 1 goal wins this.
So let's look at West Ham. Who is injured or suspended?
Well, there's actually a chance for the first time in God knows how many years we may go into this one with a fully fit squad. I know. Can't believe it either. Anderson and Snodgrass. Anderson and Snodgrass were both 50-50 to be back for this one. I don't imagine they'll be rushed back. But there's a chance we could have a fully fit squad.
You don't need any more players, though. You have Ronaldo up front, do you not?
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? Want to check his passport.
Yeah, that's R9, by the way. We're not taking CR7. We're going old school with the R9.
Of course.
For Watford, so there's nothing new with 3 of their injuries. Success is out. Delafeu is out, as is Janmat. The big one, though, is that Deeney is having issues with his knee. Now, he's 50-50 at the moment, but I think he's a Watford man through and through. I think if there's a small chance that he can play, I think he'll play for it. So I think, even though he is 50-50 at the moment, I think he'll probably start.
Yeah, I think Deeney plays. I think he plays through the pain if he is injured, because after this game, they're playing City and Arsenal. They must be looking at this game as the one where they can take 3 points, and I think they'll do what they can to get Deeney on the pitch.
Although Deeney does like to play Arsenal and he likes to rile them up, so I don't know.
True. He's got history there, hasn't he?
He has got a bit of history.
Cojones and all that.
Yeah, that exactly that one. I think, I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't play both games with just a ridiculous amount of injections going into that knee of his.
Yeah.
But that takes us nicely to the lineup. Do you wish to go through the West Ham lineup first?
For the starting lineup, I think Fabianski starts. You'll have Cresswell and Fredericks as the fullbacks again. Hopefully we'll replace them in the summer, but they'll have to do for now. Diop and Ogbonna is going to be the defensive partnership again. We kept a clean sheet on Saturday, which is the first one we've done since New Year's Day, which is worse than Tottenham.
Of which year?
By the way. I think you'll have a midfield three, Noble, Souček and Rice. And then Fornals on the left, Bowen on the right. And is it Ronaldo up front? Antonio, sorry, mate. Antonio up front.
You had something in your eye there, did you? We take the but Jesus Christ, 4 goals. I mean, that is utterly ridiculous, isn't it?
It's not done very often. Never been done by a West Ham player in the Premier League.
But Antonio's always been one of those players, has he not? That when he's playing cold, he's playing very cold. But when he's playing hot, like, Jesus Christ, he's another player.
Oh, when he's on form, he's unplayable, isn't he? It's very inconsistent, but on his day, he can take on anyone. I think defenders don't like playing against him.
No, I think he's one of them horrible players. He's so unpredictable. You just don't know. You can't prepare for a player like Antonio.
You can't, because he doesn't even know what he's going to do. That's what makes him so unpredictable. He doesn't know what he's going to do.
It's like, what I was going to say, I think for a lot of players, like when they're double-footed, there's an air of unpredictability, but they can still do their research with Antonio. Yeah. I just feel like there's nothing you can do to prepare to go up against
I think any Premier League forward with pace and power, he's going to cause problems, and Norwich just couldn't deal with him.
Yeah, evidently. Okay, now let's dive into the Watford starting 11. I think they're going to name an unchanged side from the team they played at Newcastle. So that is Ben Foster in goal, Firmino as right back, Cabaselli and Dawson as a centre-back pairing, and Messina on the left. The midfield will be Capoue and Hughes. They'll have Sarr on the right, Decore through the middle and Welbeck on the left, and big Troy Deeney going through the middle, getting those goals. So we've got the lineups, we've got all the stats and information we need. With all that in place, let's work out how West Ham or Watford are going to get a result here. Now, this is a relegation scrap. I'm going to say it again, it's that £120 million game. So there's a few things that we know that they're going to need, which is fight, which you hope to see from the local boys. I'd love to see Mark Noble and Troy Deeney in a bit of handbags. That'd be great for me. But what do you think either team needs to bring to get 3 points here?
I think this game's won on a set piece. If you look at the possession stats of both teams, we're both around that 40% mark for the season. I think a free kick, penalties, corners, these are going to be very key in this game. We've both been pretty strong from them recently, so I think that's what's going to win this one.
Yeah, I think that's an absolute fair comment. Quite a few of Watford's recent goals have come from set pieces, bar the Danny Welbeck overhead kick.
I think that's unbelievable.
That should always get a mention where it can.
Is it his first goal for Watford as well?
Oh, I don't know about that one.
If it was, then what a first goal.
Oh, what is Shay Adams did the same thing, did he not?
Yeah, that was his first.
It was his first goal. Certainly in the Premier League. So that is, I mean, what is it with these players and first goals? Is there any players at West Ham who haven't scored yet? Are we expecting a worldie from one of them?
I don't think we'll see Fabianski scoring one. No, I don't think he's going to plunder one in. But, no, we'll just give the ball to Antonio, and hopefully we'll be able to get ourselves on the score sheet.
Yeah, but going back to your point about set pieces, I absolutely agree with that. I think, as I was saying, that most of their goals have come from set pieces, other than that Welbeck goal. And I think they're both particularly good at set pieces. It would require either team having to have possession and actually go forward to get a set piece, which can't be ruled out, won't happen. But but it's fair to say West Ham were also quite lethal with set pieces. I remember Tottenham against West Ham. Souček just carried on getting space in our box, and he just carried on getting a run on his marker. It was incredible
he's a nuisance. He's a nuisance. He's really causing havoc in the opposition box recently. Really looking dangerous with him up there.
Yeah, he makes such good movement and he's a unit, isn't he? 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, we've been employing this tactic recently. From corners, we've been going to the old near post flick on. You can see it was evident against Norwich, and they knew it was coming, but they just couldn't deal with it. And it's really basic stuff, but sometimes that's what you need in big games like this.
The thing is, if it works and you're in that position, why would you change it?
That's right.
You know, you'd carry on aiming for it. I think what's going to be quite important is how teams are going to try and create chances if it's not for a set piece. Because as you said, both teams they prefer not to have possession. They try to win the ball and they try to hit on the counter. And
it's a strange one. I think with the fans there, the onus would have been on us to attack them and take the game to them. But without the fans, I don't know which one of these teams are going for it. I don't know. Are Watford going to come here for the win, or are they going to come away with a point? I don't know how they approach this one. Same with us as well.
And both teams, I think, are noticeably lacking a consistent creator. Okay, we've given you the lineups, we've given you the injury news, we've given you the suspensions, we've given you the stats, and we've said what we think the most important parts are. And I feel a bit bad for saying that set pieces are the key components of this game, but unfortunately, Watford and West Ham fans, that just seems to be the fact of the matter. You guys aren't really creating much unless it is from a set piece.
It's a reality of the situation.
Yes, I am sorry, but it's just how it is. So, with all that being said, what is your predicted score, Jack?
Well, I'm going to be a typical West Ham fan here. I'm going to be pessimistic, so I'm going for a 1-0 Watford win.
That is controversial. What are you saying?
I think they're going to nick this one. I think a Troy Deeney penalty or a Craig Dawson from a set piece. I think that's where they're going to cause us problems, and we're not great at defending corners, and we've given away a fair few penalties. I think this Watford are going to win this one.
Who's your trouble man? Who's the person at the back that you're worried about there? Who do you see fouling a Watford player?
All of them apart from Ogbonna. At the minute, Ogbonna's carrying that back four. Diop is a strange case. He's on his day, he's absolutely superb, and he's still only young, but he blows hot and cold. I think he actually plays better against the teams who play better football. It's the teams that are playing Route 1 stuff where he really struggles. You see it a lot when we're playing lower league teams in the Cups, and he just doesn't look. But this is why I think Watford are going to cause us trouble, because they're going to be looking for Deeney, and I think he's going to have a field day against Diop. Not so much Ogbonna. I'm confident in him.
I was just going to add, I think if you're going to name the top 5 worst strikers that you want to play against when it comes to being in a battle, I think Deeney's there.
Yeah, he's definitely there or thereabouts.
You just don't, especially if you're asking him to fight, which Nigel Pearson will be asking him. He's going to be ready for this. He's
going to be up for this one.
I think Diop needs to make sure that he matches his fight, or it could be a long, long afternoon for Deeney. My prediction, I think it'd be a draw. I think the first half will go past quite quietly. I think both teams will be trying to figure each other out without conceding too many chances. So I'm going to go over 1-1. But it could be a 0-0, but I'm going 1-1.
I think both teams are going to be scared to lose this one.
And it's worth adding, I suppose, if you do both draw, as long as you're confident in the rest of your games, that could be safety for you.
Yeah, like I said earlier, we don't want to take that down to the last day, though. We really do want to get it over the line by now. Of course, between now and Friday, there's a lot of football to be played after we record this, so our situation might be better or it might be worse by then. We don't know. So I think results in the week are gonna have an impact here as well.
Yeah, Well, there we have it. Jack has gone for a 1-0 Watford, the ever pessimistic West Ham fan. And I've gone for a 1-1 draw. Do like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you later.
See you later.